an asshole, man. That dude's an asshole, and he knows it.
From the mean streets of Brooklyn to the rough neighborhoods in Boise, Idaho, we now present the Goonberg Report. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Goonberg Report, and I'm Mayor Goonberg. And I'm just going to here talk about certain situations guys are going through. I'm not focusing on women. I'm not focusing on the kids yet. I'm focused on men getting themselves together so they can prepare themselves for the real world at hand. And today I want to talk about a such situation that, I want to talk about black men and Mgtow. Now, as far as Mgtow goes, that's men going their own way. This is not some crazy group of incels, of rejected men, of wackos, whatever. This is a serious group. And over the years, I can speak from the black perspective. For eons and decades, the Democratic Party, and I won't get into that, but we have been portrayed as a bunch of drug dealers, non-existent fathers, deadbeat husbands, drunks, and assorted malcontents, if you will. But recently, data from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, have proved that this is false, and you can research this stuff yourself. I'm not up here to spoon feed you. I'm not up here to rub your ears or tickle your belly to make you feel good. I'm up here to give the truth as I see it and the facts that there are. Now, everybody's going to say, well, the government can twist facts the way it was. But look at it this way. The reason men are going their way, I can speak from my perspective. I'm sure I can speak from a lot of black guys' perspective. If you're not married and have kids, you're fucked. Excuse my language. Because sooner or later, you're going in front of the government. And like I said, a lot of these women make it look like the guy doesn't want to pay child support or he doesn't want to do anything for the kids. That's not true. I say 80% to 90% of the guys they voluntarily want to. Yeah, you're going to have a couple here and there that don't want to take care of the kid. But at the same time, it's like this. The ones that don't take care of the kid usually have multiple kids by the same women or different women. Like, say Pookie didn't handle his two other kids from the other two kids' mother. Then you got with him, but you can change him. But now you're mad because you had to take this dude to court and he ain't paying nothing. And what do you expect? If he wasn't doing his job for the first two women, you expect him to do his job for you and you changed him? Nah. The only thing Pookie's going to do is give you another kid and run on to another person that with another kid. And, But back to the original point. The original point is they go to the government. Like I said, 80 to 90% guys want to do right by you. But once you put the government in our business, me personally, and I know there's a lot of guys who speak for, but I was just like, just keep the government out of my business. Now, I just want nobody wants the government in their business. That's just the point blank. But unfortunately, black women have been trained, and I'm going to say not, how can I put this? Recent black women within the last 30, 40 years have been trained to be Uncle Sam is their daddy. Or what's the quote now? Is their zaddy. Because if they don't like you, they go to the government on everything. They've been trained to do this now. So there's no problem to hear this quote. Girl, just take him to the white man. I've heard it. I've heard other women say it. Like, I'll use my situation, for example. My kids are grown, they're out the door, they're taken care of. My one son, child support. I was on child support. Now, it wasn't that I didn't want to be there for him, which I was. Not a lot physically because I was working, because I had to pay. I had to handle bills. I was married at the time, through all that. I'm not married anymore, I'll explain that later. But from my perspective, I wasn't going to marry his mother. And we talked about this. So we got up there, and I can talk about this freely now. We got up there, we had a deal. And I told her, I was like, look, tell her we have an agreement made I said, you'll get more than what they're going to give you. And I was like, and we were cool. We got up there. She backstabs me. When they do the, like, guys, I can explain child support a lot. I might make child support videos that school you guys, because I got hit by women who I was cool with, and I would hit chicks to a lot of the things dudes do. But that'll be another video for another day if you request it. But when you get up there at child support, and it varies from state to state, but basically it's all the same. There's maybe the percentage is different. We're not going to get technical here. We're going to talk about as far as child support rulings across the board. And we got up there, and once he did the 80-20 assessment, where they combine your income and take 20% of your income for your kids. Then what they do is they ask you, well, do you have an agreement? Now I was like, I'm looking at her. I was going to let her say it, because me saying it, they would have gone to ask her anyway. So I said, you answer, say, yeah, we're cool. We get out. We get up there. No, we don't have an agreement. I looked at her. I said, we don't. Person looked at me, because they knew what was going on, but they couldn't say anything. But I said, I didn't show my ass off that time. Before the courts, I did show my ass off, but that'll be an interesting story too. But we got out there, and I said, well, what's this? And then her friends probably poked their nose in there, talking about my finances, which were none of her business or their business. But I said, all right. I said, whenever you need something, and here's how much of a dude I was about that. I didn't hold my word about whatever the state said you're getting. Every time I got that phone call from her, she'd get money mailed to her, money mailed to her. My son got birthday, money mailed to her. And mind you guys, before you have a child, so you don't know, these are all gifts. This don't count as my child support. This is all extra stuff. So I'm paying my child support and doing this. I mean, I'm doing things that father's supposed to do, but in the child support system, it's a business, and you're gonna have to learn that. They talk about it as a business. So when I deal with child support and I dealt with her, I dealt it as a business. I dealt my son as my son, but I had to separate my son from her as far as how I had to deal with him. And I'm gonna tell my side about child support. I'm gonna keep it 100, because everybody, like my close personal friends and family, know this story. So I was behind, not my fault. There's a story behind that, and I might tell that one. But like what happens is, I think it's all states. But what happened is, I found out 6 months later. So I got tested that 6 months. So you're 6 months, you got nothing, and I didn't know he was my son. So it wasn't like I refused to pay. It was like I didn't know at the time. So once we got to the state or the county, whoever, they tested me, and then later I found out I had a son. I was like, cool. I didn't go off the handle. I didn't cuss her out. Through this whole process, I was never mad. I was heated at her for taking me to the government, yeah, and for the way she handled shit afterwards, yes. I was mad. I was heated, but I didn't let that faze me, because I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of it taking me out of my game. So what happened, back to the story. I was behind child support 6 months, and I had to pay a nice size amount. I heard stories about all these guys paying $50, $75. I was like, oh yeah, I'm paying $75. I can still ball. No, I wasn't paying those $75. What happens is in the system, and I'm going to explain this aside, and I'll get back to the story. What it is, when you see some guy paying $75 or $50, one of them aren't working, and one has a shitty job. Because that's how they do it. They do that 20% deal, as I told you before. If you see somebody not paying child support, or paying if he's paying under $200, one of them don't have a job, and the one that does have a job, isn't making much money. So don't let them think they're balling. They're pump faking. Now back to the story. Well, once I found out 6 months later, no, the child support don't go away. It builds up. So it's like, I missed that payment. I missed this payment. I just missed this. Now mind you, I didn't know I had a son. We didn't go for the test until 6 months later. But at the end of the day, they wanted their money. And they were like, well, can we give? And the funniest part was, well, can we get our money today? I was like, yeah. I said, wait for it. And I left. But this was a time I got laid off. So I was looking for a job. A friend of mine moved to another state. Well, how can I say, a friend of mine's home cousin, well, I knew him, he's an associate, really. I never really hung out with him, played hoops and all that, but I never really hung out. He's one of my homeboys' dudes, a cousin, moved to another state, and he sent back this paper where it had 6 pages of want ads, 6 sections, my fault. So I was laid off and had a family to feed. I did what I had to do. I moved. So mind you, I'm moving. I'm still behind on child support. So what did they do? They put a warrant out on me, and they were slick about it. Because at the time, I ain't gonna lie, I was running the streets. But what they did, they put a warrant out, and I didn't know about it. So they're thinking I'm my own brother because they see him all the time. So they go to my parents' house, knock on the door. You know, so and so home. First thing my dad says, "You got a warrant?" They're like, "No." He goes, "He ain't home," which I wasn't home at the time. So what happened with me one time is I came home. I had a vacation. I think it was either Christmas or Thanksgiving. I came home, and mind you, I was back on my feet as far as like getting caught up because I said I had kids, I had a wife. I had keyword on the wife part, mind you. I'll talk about that later. But I had kids, wife, had to pay bills, had to pay a little colleges, room and board, all that, furniture, this and that. And so I got caught up. So me and her separated. And that's a story in and by itself. I've been separated going on. The reason I haven't got divorced because it's like I had a fire crib. It takes you a while to get caught back up. So now I'm going to process that. But once me and my old lady separated, I had more money. So like I said, kids are grown. We're separated. She does her thing. I do my thing. So now I'm paying money. So now they're the extras. So now I'm going to get back to the other story where I was 6 months behind and I moved out here. They go to, oh man, and I coming home. I had the radio blasting. I was playing Black Republican by Jay-Z. I was playing all this stuff. I go home to my parents' house. The old man goes, "Hey man, you know you got a warrant out for your arrest?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you got a warrant out for your arrest." I said, "What's this about?" He said, "It's family court." I said, "Phew." I thought it was something else. But he says, "Family court, you need to get a hold of them." So I stay low key. Well, I always stay low key when I go home. People know that. There's certain spots I go to. But I came home, so I just hung out with my family. Then I went back to where I live now. And so I called up the sheriff back there. And never have a kid in a rich county. If you know what I mean. If you every major city has a rich county. Don't have a kid in a rich county because they will fucking come. But that's another story. So they called me up. They said, "Mr. Goonberg." I said, "Yes." I was like, "I was wondering about this." I said, "What's up with this warrant?" I said, "You know, what's going on?" They said, "You want to come in and turn yourself in?" I said, "I got a family and a job." Like I said, this is when I was married. I said, "I got a family and a job. I just can't come back there and turn myself in." And I said, "Well, how's that sound?" I said, "I'm paying child support and back child support right now as it is, right?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "So if I come in, I'll lose my job. You won't get no more child support, and I'm not paying back child support, and I'll be further back in child support, right?" "Well, yeah." I said, "Well, add it up. I'm not coming in." I said, "Well, what's the most you can do, really?" They said, "Well, it ain't no warrant for no murder or major drug dealing, is it?" I was like, "No, it ain't. It's from you guys." They said, "Well, if you ever get arrested out there, they'll just detain you for the weekend, and because we're not coming out to get you unless it was a major warrant." I was like, "Well, cool." So I paid it off quick because I wasn't playing with that stuff anymore. After I paid it off, old girl would act like she wanted to talk and BS. I'm like, "Get out of here." So now, at present day, last June was my last month of paying child support. And I didn't know. What I did is, here's how, I was so used to paying child support. Here's what I did. I went and I said, I noticed my check got a little heavier. And I was like, I didn't work a lot of overtime. So I said, look, man, what's going on? You taking this out? And that's when the lady told me, hey, you're done with child support. Yeah. I was like, phew. And let me tell you another story about child support, guys. If you bust your ass and work a ton of hours, that's what your child support's gonna be set as, unless you want to go to court every year over that. Say you make 70 grand. Say you make 70 or 80. That's what your child support's gonna be based out of for 3 or 4 years. Like I said, I don't know what your state is, but I'm going by general guidelines. And say you get laid off, it don't matter your story. You still gotta go back to court about that. You gotta file a petition to get your child support lowered. That you can't just tell them, well, I've been laid off. They're going by the child support order, so you have to pay that. You got to go back and petition and show them proof and all that, and get your child support lowered. That's another tip. I'm gonna do a series about child support. Like I said, I learned a lot. I didn't need a lawyer. I just knew women who used the system, and this was the reason why I didn't like child support. I just had to bang with them. But a lot of women, like outside of child support, I got sick of arguing. Like I said, I told you I was married, and we broke up because it was just bullshit. It was just bullshit. And after a while, a lot of these, like, I'm 48. I was married. We got separated over 12 years ago, or if that, I think 94, 95. Because the year after we separated, as far as legally separated, where she couldn't get anything of mine, I formed my video business, which allowed me to do a lot of things. But back to lecture at hand. Like I said, I was married, and being married, I'm not going to talk down on being married, because my parents are still married, and marriage is a wonderful thing. But in the black community, I'm going to tell you this: if you're black, get you an Islander or a first or second generation African chick. If you're going to really go out there and wear your cape for them. Don't cape for these new broads. Don't cape for these broads that they get up on Facebook and Instagram, and they're a singer, but they're taking pictures half nude. And you trying to wife that. If you trying to wife a chick taking pictures half nude, and she says that she's a singer, what do you think she's going to do to get a record deal? Why you want somebody's sloppy fists? Another thing, a lot of these chicks don't respect you. They say the same thing: you're gay, you're ugly, you're this. Like, if you ever turn a woman down, I know a lot of you cucks, a lot of you simps, a lot of you mommy's boys. I know you don't get a chance to do this because you guys follow these chicks around. You ever see Pepe Le Pew cartoons on Bugs Bunny? You just get a whiff of a woman, you're floating on air behind her. Well, I don't do that. This one chick was talking to me, and I was like, nah, I'm good. There are days I just go out, like I said, my cousin can testify to this, and my brothers too. There are days where I just want to go out and hang with them and just chill. I mean, I'm not trying to meet no woman. I'm just like, I want to have fun. And women will say, oh, you guys are gay because you guys don't have no women. Meanwhile, I'm dealing with 5 women behind the scenes. See, I don't have to. See, here's the problem with black people. Black people want to broadcast everything they're fucking doing. Like, I got chicks now who I'm cool with, who you wouldn't know I was cool with. Because number one, I ain't putting their business out there. Number two, they ain't putting the business out there. And I told them the key to staying like what we're doing, don't put the business out there. But some black folks, man, they get an Academy Award for showing out. And as far as Mgtow goes, again, I don't have time to deal with it. And look at the black community. Over 80, I say about 83, now it's 83. 5 years ago it was 80%, but I say about 83. It might be 85, checking the stat. 85% of the women in the community are overweight or obese, with 60%, 56. The last number I checked was 56. So I can legitimately say 60 because I'm sure that number is not going down. And because they're fat. Like you got 20-something year olds that are big mama now. How nasty is that? And then these chicks will say, "Well, your mama's black." My mother being black justifies that stupid stuff. She doesn't co-sign that. Matter of fact, my mom used to get on with me and my brothers and I, my fault, whenever we were getting overweight. She goes, "You guys were getting a little big, ain't you?" I said, "Yeah, lift weights." She goes, "No, you know what I'm talking about. She's getting a little fat." And the curb it in. Because in our family, we knew the health risk. So we all lift. Even my mom. My mom had 4 boys. My mom ran us around everywhere, and she still had a job. Not like these current chicks. These current chicks are on welfare, kids to school, they're laying down eating bonbons and ho-hos, they got Pookie playing PlayStation all day, they're not doing nothing, and they wonder why they get fat. Then they get mad because I don't want them. No, I don't want you. If you wear spandex every day, I don't want you. And a lot of these chicks don't understand. Black men especially, we're the ones that are in the most demand. Black women are done because look at all these shows on these reality shows. They're getting portrayed real bad, but that women aren't accountable for each other. So nobody's saying, hey, there's few ladies like Shazad Ali and a lot of others, but women don't listen to them. They're saying, hey sis, slow down. You're making us look bad. But they're not doing it because look, number one, they're not getting a lot of money to do that. And I can see they're getting $10 million a season. After the first season, I'd have quit because this is kind of bad for the kids. So they're not getting money like you think they're getting. They're showing out just to show out. And that's what I don't want. I don't want some chick who's fat. I don't want some chick with mouth. I damn sure don't want no chick with kids because I know if she got let me put this, if she got 5 kids, according to the CDC, she got multiple babies' dads to the same like kids to multiple babies' dad. And a lot of these single guys have this. They have brothers and sisters to different men, but yet the guys are the ones who they blame. You don't blame your mama for spreading her legs 5 times to different men being the sucker. You blame the guys. I don't want to go through none of that no more. I want to go at my age right now. I just want a simple, peaceful life. I talk to African chicks. Simple. They're old fashioned. I want somebody who has to go to India or Brazil and cut a horse's tail off to wear her hair. I don't want some chick that's bald like I'm bald. I don't want some chick that's big as me. I'm not fat, but I don't want no chick fat like that. If she's muscular, I can deal with it. I don't care. Not fat. But like I said, black women don't hold themselves accountable for nothing. They can say whatever they want, do whatever they want, and if you say something, you're racist. But when they say something to you, it's okay. But this is just the first report I'm doing. Everything I've said, you can look it up yourself. So, this is Mayor Goonberg, the Goonberg Report. Peace out, Boise in the house.